Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleMania Preview Show. I'm your host, Hardcore Declan, and can you believe it's WrestleMania week already? WrestleMania weekend, of course. WrestleMania comes to you live the 4th of April, 2016 on Sky Box Office. It'll be the 4th of April, Irish time, the 3rd of April if you are in the United States or Canada. But can you believe WrestleMania 32 has arrived? And it's amazing. Since the last podcast show, and I'll admit, I got a couple of matches wrong, but we'll get over it. We'll get over it and we'll go on from Fastlane. And just before we get into the WWE WrestleMania 32 pre-show, I just want to talk about the main event we had, the last one, which was WWE Roadblock, which was an absolute waste of time, waste of WWE's talent time. Because if people watched it, of course, there was Dean Ambrose versus Triple H, probably the only good card, but most of it was all NXT. So, what a waste of a pay-per-view that WWE have ever done, and I'm sorry to say that it was a waste, and unfortunately I watched it, the waste of my time. And also, I would like to I want to talk about the NXT takeover that happened last night. Normally their pay-per-views happen on a Saturday, but because of the Hall of Fame tonight, we will also be talking about the Hall of Fame tonight as well on this preview show. But the NXT takeover last night, as you know, Finn Balor went up against Samoa Joe for the NXT title, and I have to say it was a good match. Finn Balor to get the win, and there's talks about him after WrestleMania coming up to the main roster. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's crack on to the WrestleMania preview show, WrestleMania 32 preview show. Of course, the matches for 2016. We will start off Carlisto versus Ryback for the United States champion. Now, my predictions on this match is Ryback is going to be Carlisto for the United States champion. Now, as I said, this is only a preview show. Anything can happen at WrestleMania, but I am going to go with Carlisto to be, or Ryback, sorry, my apologies, Ryback to be Carlisto for the United States champion. Now we will march on to the 10-person Divas tag match. For the first time ever, and on the grandest stage of them all of WrestleMania, a 10-person Divas tag match. We've never had a 10-person Divas tag match. Total Divas versus Bad and Blonde. Of course, I'm not going to name them out because there's all I know is there's one of the Bellas is in there. Whoever's on basically Total Divas will take on Team Bad and Blonde. So who will win this match? I reckon that the Total Divas should hopefully put an end to Bad and Blonde, Team Bad and Blonde. But as I say, it could go either way. Team Bad and Blonde could beat them, but we will go with Team Total Divas to win the match. Now, also, we will go on to the New Day versus the League of Nations. Of course, the League of Nations, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and Rusev, and Alberto Del Rio will take on Kofi Kingston, Big E Langston, and Xavier Woods. So that's actually 4 versus 3. My prediction on this match, of course, the League of Nations is going to win That's my prediction for that match. Because like if you've noticed, it's I know it's not for the tag team titles, but the New Day, they have been a long time tag team champions, and surely to God we need a change in the tag team division, and so on. But I'm going to get into something after I go through these matches. Also, next up, Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha Banks for the WWE Divas Championship. Who's going to win? Well, my prediction is I think Sasha Banks is going to become the new Divas Championship, because you got to understand, Charlotte, she's been the Divas champion a while now. I think she won it back in, it was either Fastlane or before that. I can't exactly remember, but she has it anyway for a good few months anyway. So surely to God, the Divas division should change also. But you never know. Charlotte, of course, the daughter of Nature Boy Ric Flair. Anything can happen, because obviously Ric Flair will be at ringside. And as you know, the last couple of months, Ric Flair actually helped Charlotte of winning or retaining her champion. So, he has a bit of help there, Charlotte does. So anything can happen, but I'm going to go with Sasha Banks becoming the new Divas champion. Also, up next, of course, AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. Now, as you know, this all started back at the Royal Rumble when AJ Styles made his debut to WWE. And people that don't really know AJ Styles. Of course, AJ Styles competed in New Japan Wrestling, and if you're a TNA fan, he also wrestled for TNA and ended up signing for the WWE. So this all started back at the Royal Rumble. He was, I think he was number 4, the 4th or the 5th entry of the Royal Rumble, and Jericho was around that as well. And of course, I think if I can remember, it was I don't know if it was Jericho that eliminated AJ Styles or AJ Styles eliminated Chris Jericho. So this kind of started, and then they had a couple of matches, Raw and SmackDown. AJ Styles' first competitive match on Raw actually beat Chris Jericho, and as Chris Jericho always says, he's the best in the world of what he does, and he backs it up because he is the first ever undisputed champion. But anyway, I'm rambling on here anyway. But this all started Royal Rumble. They had a couple of matches Raw, then they went to SmackDown. Chris Jericho got a victory over AJ Styles, and then at Fastlane, they I think they joined together for a while, and they had a tag team match which they won. And then of course Chris Jericho turned on AJ Styles, and they had a match. Actually, I think they fought at Fastlane, Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, and AJ Styles I think bet Chris Jericho. And then of course Jericho, came out. He was congratulating them. Things were fine. They tagged up for a while, and now Jericho turned his back on AJ Styles, and this is how this match came along. And of course, Chris Jericho was like, "I'm not going to fight you." I think it was Raw this week on Raw. AJ Styles came out, and he was watching the match, and he basically got the Chris Jericho, and in order to have this match. So it's AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, and I'm gonna go because I was wrong the last time, and I'll admit it on live radio. I was wrong the last time, but I am gonna go with AJ Styles this time for the change, and not because of AJ won the last match. I am going. My prediction, my heart is saying AJ Styles will beat Chris Jericho. So we move on to the let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. We will move on to the 8-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Champion. Of course, as you know, it's Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder, Sin Cara, The Miz, and Stardust. Obviously, Kevin Owens, the champion, going in to fight 7 other men as the champion. So it'll be very, very difficult. And it's not the first time we had a ladder match over the years at WrestleMania, Money in the Banks. Remember the very first ladder match at WrestleMania 10 with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. So it should be an epic match. And I am going to go with the new guy who just came in to WWE, Sami Zayn. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. You know, I've been watching Sami Zayn, you know, even in his NXT days. But I'm shocked that he wasn't called up the same time as Kevin Owens, because, you know, as you know, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they had a big rival back in NXT for the NXT champion. But now Sami Zayn, now he's finally on the main roster, of course. So that, you know, it should be an epic ladder match. But I'm definitely going with Sami Zayn is going to be the new Intercontinental Champion. But as you know, anything can happen in the match. But I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. Now we will go on to the street fight. The street fight: Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. As you know, these two have been kind of fighting over the last, say, month or so. They had a bit of a rivalry storyline, but obviously this became a street fight. And if you've been watching Raw and SmackDown the last couple of weeks, Mick Foley said, "You don't need a crowbar. Take this," and it was Mick Foley's baseball bat with barbed wire. And as you know, Mick Foley used that many times in his day with the baseball bat, steel barbed wire. Then, of course, on SmackDown, Chainsaw Charlie. And if everybody doesn't know who Chainsaw Charlie is, Terry Funk. And, of course, if everybody doesn't know who Terry Funk is, well, then you better off stop watching wrestling. But I'm not going to go in to describe who Terry Funk is. Terry Funk and Cactus Jack, a.k.a. Mick Foley, used to team up going back in the day, but I'm not going to go into that. Gave Dean Ambrose a chainsaw. So, you know, his signature chainsaw, that's what he got his name for, Chainsaw Charlie. So anything can happen, but I am going to go with the beast incarnate, the conqueror of the streak, Brock Lesnar. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar to beat Dean Ambrose. So we move on to probably one of the main events that's been going around, and as you know, this started back last month, of course. The Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shane McMahon. As you know, Shane McMahon, of course, came back about a month or two ago. Basically, if you were watching Raw, I'm not going to get into it anyway, but the story of this match, how this match came by, is Shane McMahon thought that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were doing a terrible job, which I agree. They are doing some sort of terrible job, because you got to understand the talent that the WWE have with NXT and all. WWE doesn't seem to go anywhere. So Shane McMahon decided to come back, stamp his legacy, and basically says, okay, I want one thing and one thing only is to control Monday Night Raw. Now, the last time Shane McMahon was even at Raw was 8 years ago. So, now he looks in fantastic shape. He's been training out for this match. So there's one thing. There's two stipulations. If Shane McMahon wins, he gets his wish. He gets control of Monday Night Raw. And that would be good because it would be great to see Shane McMahon. You got to understand, Shane McMahon, he went off, he took time off, going back, he built a couple of companies. And fair play to him, he's kind of like his dad. He built his own company, and fair play to him. But all of a sudden, I presume Shane McMahon started to get annoyed and get pissed off because of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon doing a bad job. So he thinks, okay, if I come back, I'm gonna make it better. And okay, if it happens, it happens. But so what happened is how the Hell in a Cell came about was, of course, Vince McMahon was spoken to Shane, and he says, one match, one night, and I'll pick the venue. And okay, he says, right, I won't. It wasn't the last time I've done deals with the devil himself, and he shook on it. And so Vince McMahon basically said on Raw a couple of weeks back that he'd be taking on the Undertaker at WrestleMania, but Hell in a Cell. So, you got to understand, Hell in a Cell, it's a dangerous environment. The very first Hell in a Cell was the Undertaker versus Mick Foley. And if you remember Mick Foley, he came off the Hell in a Cell straight through the announce table. And that's probably his sort of retirement. I know he was wrestling kind of shortly afterwards. So, but I am going to go with the Undertaker. But I would like to see Shane McMahon changing sports entertainment for the good. Because you got to understand, like I'm even starting to gone off. I watch Raw. I watch Raw when it's on. I used to watch SmackDown, and SmackDown is just gone boring. So, but anyway, I'm gonna talk about something else later on. We will go on now to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Of course, I'm not going to name names. It's 20 men. Kane, Big Show, Mark Henry, and so on are going to be in this Battle Royal. But I am going to go with... obviously, the speculations that the Big Show is going to win it and stuff like that. But I am going to go with Mark Henry. Mark Henry, you got to understand, Mark Henry hasn't won that in a long, long time. So I think they should pass the torch on to Mark Henry. So, and so on. So I am going to go with Mark Henry. My apologies that I don't know exactly who the participation in the Battle Royal. All I know is there's Kane is there, Big Show's there, and Mark Henry's there, and so on. So the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, who's going to win? And as you know, I'm going to go with Mark Henry. Now we will go on to the main event of the evening of WrestleMania 32. The predictions. Who's going to win between Triple H and Roman Reigns? And as you know, this all started back when, of course, Seth Rollins had to relinquish his title, which he never got beaten for. And as you know, Roman Reigns finally came champion. And then at the Royal Rumble, basically he was up against all of 29 men, and it was the first time ever that the champion the reigning defending champion was in the Royal Rumble. Normally, as you know, they have the Royal Rumble, and then they have the main event for the WWE champion, and then the winner goes on to WrestleMania. So Roman Reigns, unfortunately, was in that predicament because, as you know, best for business, you don't provoke the authority and you don't provoke Vince McMahon. So Vince McMahon basically set up this match that if the next time Roman Reigns defends his WWE title, will be at the Royal Rumble against 29 other men. And it was a big shock to me because I thought that Roman Reigns was going to go on to win the Royal Rumble. And of course, the 30th entry of the Royal Rumble, which was a shock for me. I wasn't expecting it. So, Triple H. And as you know, Triple H came out, won the Royal Rumble. Now, this is... then there was kind of a roadblock, and that's what I'm talking about. This pay-per-view, which was ridiculous roadblock, came in. And then you had Triple H versus Dean Ambrose. And no way that Triple H was going to drop the belt to Dean Ambrose. Come on. Now, don't get me wrong, it would have been great to see Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns, brother versus brother, friendship versus friendship, whatever. Two former Shield members against each other to kind of, tear up the house a bit. That would have been a good match. So it's Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the WWE Championship. What's going to happen? My predictions with this is Roman Reigns is going to win, and as you know, there's another statement that I'm going to get into later on because I have to go back to the Undertaker Shane McMahon match in a few minutes. So Reigns is going to win, is going to beat Triple H at WrestleMania. So anyway, I just want to get back into the Undertaker Shane match. Okay, as you know, my prediction is the Undertaker. Okay, I just want to talk about this. Okay, whoever wins. Okay, I never actually mentioned the other stipulation of the Undertaker versus Shane McMahon match in the Hell in a Cell. If Shane wins, he gets control of Monday Night Raw. If the Undertaker loses, he basically Shane loses. He doesn't become the control of Monday Night Raw. If he wins, he gets control of Monday Night Raw. If the Undertaker loses, as you know, last week or the week before, it will be his last WrestleMania ever. So it's the thing is stacked up now. It's kind of interesting because Undertaker has something to fight for. Before with the streak and all, he had something to fight for. Because the streak is gone now, Undertaker doesn't really have much to fight for. So you have basically both people have something to fight for. Shane McMahon wins, he gets control of Monday Night Raw. Undertaker loses, basically he's finished. It's his last WrestleMania. Now that doesn't mean he can. I don't know if that means he's finished. Like he can't compete at WrestleMania ever again, or just he can go on Raw and stuff like that. But as you know, the Undertaker does not be at Raw or SmackDown unless something's happening. So anyway, where I'm getting with this is, obviously the speculations of Shane the winning, okay, but I don't think so. But they're supposed to be splitting the brand, okay. So, and I tell you the reason why. That Roman Reigns is going to beat Triple H. Triple H and Stephanie will run SmackDown, and Shane McMahon will run Raw. So so that means then we'll have to have new champions on either brand and probably general managers. That's the speculation of this match. I kind of know, I can kind of see into the future where they're going with this. So so if Shane wins, they will probably split the band down the middle, and have two champions. Probably bring back the world heavyweight champion. Probably change it up. There's no point in bringing back I used to call it the WCW belt, and went on to become the world heavyweight champion. Then they had two. They had the undisputed champion, so they were going around having two belts, which was ridiculous. So I think that's where they're going. They're going to split the band down. They're going to have Raw. It'll be Shane McMahon's Raw, and then it'll be Stephanie and Triple H's SmackDown, and then hopefully to kind of shape up like before. If you can remember, the band. This started the different band started around 2002, and then stopped around 2007, 2008. So you know what I'm going with this anyway. So that's where WWE is going. That's the way it looks like, but I don't know. I don't think Shane McMahon is going to win. Now it would be great if Shane McMahon does take over. Um, it would be great if Shane McMahon takes over. It would be fantastic. He running Raw, and Stephanie and Triple H running SmackDown, and do a kind of a draft thing and have new champions, new tag belts, maybe have the US title on SmackDown or the US title on Raw, and have the Intercontinental Champion on SmackDown, and then probably I don't know if they're gonna maybe have different commentators, and then have like they used to have like say a SmackDown pay per view like Armageddon, and a Raw pay per view like Unforgiven. I can't see them bringing those pay per views back, but that's I'm just giving somebody a suggestion here. So that looks like that's the way it's going to it's heading. But as I said, anything can happen with the way the WWE is being run. Now let's go on to, of course, The Rock. The Rock, of course, will be there. He will make an appearance. Now I don't know. There's speculations of John Cena being clear. I don't know. They're saying that him and The Rock are going to fight. I don't think that's going to happen. But as you know, strangest things have happened. It would be a good match if The Rock and John. But you got to understand. Then we're going back WrestleMania 28, 29, whatever. When they actually wrestled. So The Rock is going to be there at WrestleMania. Now we will go on to which is happening tonight. The WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony, of course. As you know, many Hall of Famers have been inducted, and as you know, Sting will be inducted. He was actually the first inductee to be inducted. So we have Sting, we have the Big Boss Man will be inducted tonight. About time that he's finally inducted. We have Jacqueline, we have the Freebirds. Snoop Dogg is going to be inducted, and I can't remember who I can't exactly remember who else was inducted. But we're going to have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony tonight, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to. I'll probably watch the Hall of Fame, but I cannot wait for tomorrow night, the 3rd of April in the United States and Canada, which will be the 4th of April in Europe and stuff like that. And it'll be coming live to people on the WWE Network, and also Sky Sports Box Office. The people that are from the United Kingdom and Ireland. So ladies and gentlemen, a big show tomorrow night. Big show tonight for the all these inductees tonight, and we will see them tomorrow night as well, because they normally do the ceremony halfway through WrestleMania. So, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been the preview show, WrestleMania 32 preview show. Thank you very much and I hope you subscribe to this channel. If anybody that is listening, and that's why the reason why I've done this podcast tonight is, so I can chill out and get ready for WrestleMania tomorrow. So, but we may now, I not definitely, but we may have a Fallout show Monday Irish time, Monday Irish and UK time. We will have a Fallout show maybe around 9 o'clock Irish time at night. Um, if not, we will see you at the Extreme Rules pre-show at the end of the month. Thank you for listening, everybody. Good night and God bless.